which is A4. Welcome to class 4. Amy, bienvenida.
Gracias.
Estoy feliz
Estoy feliz
de estar aquí.
de estar aquí.
Or
I
you
am
don't even have
happy
to
to
say
be
de.
here.
You could just say, yeah, what did it mean?
I am happy to be here.
Estoy feliz estar aquí.
Estoy feliz estar aquí.
Muy bien. Okay, the lesson today, we've covered in the last couple classes this contrast between estar, which is to be, but it's temporary, and ser, which is to be, but that's dealing with things that are permanent. So because that's so important in the Spanish language, we're spending a little extra time talking about the differentiations between the two. So let's click along and see that. And then also today we'll cover months and seasons, and we'll learn and start our very important journey of being able to conjugate verbs. There are three types of verbs in Spanish, ones that end in AR, ones that end in ER, and IR. And there's rules following AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs and how they change to match the subject and the time that we're hoping to speak in. So we'll start to dive into that today for verbs that end in AR. Having said that, why are we looking at an ER verb here, ser? It's because it's so important. It's such a commonly used verb. Go ahead and say ser.
Ser.
That's to be, and that's permanent. What's the temporary to be?
Estar.
Good. Okay, let's try this first one, Amy. We know that you're a good Midwest girl from the United States, so try Yo soy de los Estados Unidos.
Yo soy de los Estados Unidos.
Good. And ser, being the permanent, is to be, but yo soy is how we say I am, right?
Mhm.
Then let's try the next one. You are very kind. Tú eres muy amable.
Tú eres muy amable.
Mhm. Notice that most times the verbs will help you know what the certain forms are, the yo form, the tu form. Now, this one, eres, is very funky and doesn't look like its parent verb, ser. So you just have to remember that tu eres is you are, right?
Mhm.
Then the next one is she is the owner of the salon. Ella es la dueña del salón. Try that. Ella es la dueña del salón.
Ella es la dueña del salón.
That sounds nice. Yeah. And salón is really a good place to emphasize how we pronounce our A's and our O's in Spanish. Salón. The next one is we are bold. The word for bold in Spanish would be valiant, right? And so let's try this one. Nosotros somos valientes.
Nosotros somos valientes.
Right. It has to be valientes because we are bold. And unlike English, this carries a plural S with it. So let's try that again, Amy. Nosotros somos valientes.
Nosotros somos valientes.
Yeah, good. The next one is they are in charge, which is literally in Spanish, they are the ones in charge, or they are the in charge ones. Let's try that. Ellas son las encargadas.
Ellas son las encargadas.
Good. They are the in charge ones. Really nice. Cool. So that's a breakdown of ser, and that's I am, yo soy, tú eres, you are, ella es, she is, and that could also be él es, right? He
Mhm.
is. Then nosotros somos, let's try that. Nosotros somos amigos.
Nosotros somos amigos.
We are friends. Yep. And then
Mhm.
ellas, they are the in charge ones. We could also use ustedes. That would be you all. That's a different subject, but the verb is the same. So you'd say, ustedes son las encargadas. Let's ask that as a question. Ustedes son las encargadas?
Ustedes son las encargadas.
Uh-huh. And what would that mean, Amy, in English?
Are you all in charge?
Yeah, good. Nice. Okay,
Nice.
cool. We're comparing. So that was ser. It was permanent. Now estar is temporary. You can see the temporary nature of these. For instance, the first one is I am with my family. I'm not always going to be with my family, so it represents a temporary state of being. Let's try it, Amy. Yo estoy con mi familia.
Yo estoy con mi familia.
Really nice. The next one says, are you available? We already know estás because we know cómo estás. You can also say tú cómo estás or cómo estás tú, right? But this one is,
Mhm.
are you available? Disponible. Let's try it. ¿Tú estás disponible?
¿Tú estás disponible?
Yeah, good. So we know the word disponible is available. I should pull up the chat here so we can add some of those types of words in the
Mhm.
chat. But also, this will be available in the notes below this video on the page that you're seeing it on the Requeso Video Archive site. Disponible, available. Good. All right. Él está en camino. Let's try that, Amy. Él está en camino.
Él está en camino.
Uh-huh. We remember camino from the first lesson could be the way, the walk, or the path. But what does this mean, Amy, if we said él está en camino?
Is he on his way? Is he on the way?
Or it's not so much a question as a statement here. It's he
Oh, he
is
is on the
on the
way.
way. So this is important. If we say en camino, for instance, if I say yo estoy en camino, what would that mean?
I am on the way. I'm
Uh-huh.
on my
That's good.
way.
Yep, let's practice it. Yo estoy en camino.
Yo estoy en camino.
Uh-huh. Excellent. Okay, how about the next one? Nosotros estamos ocupados.
Nosotros,
Nosotros estamos ocupados.
nosotros estamos ocupados.
I like your pronunciation of the O. It sounds really nice. Ocupados. And what does that
Ocupados.
mean? Nosotros estamos ocupados.
We are occupied.
Yeah, what's another way to say that?
We are busy.
Good. Yes. Excellent. Okay, that's ocupados. Sometimes, for instance, you might say if someone knocks on the bathroom door while you're in there, you might say está ocupado. Try that. Está ocupado.
Está ocupado.
That's it is occupied, right?
Mhm.
And that's
Mhm.
a good reminder that when we talk about things that are not a human, and we say it is busy, that we use the same verb form that we would use if we were saying he or she. So está ocupado is it's busy, it's occupied.
Mhm.
And how would you say I am busy? Now remember, I want you to change the gender on this, Amy, so that it matches you. I am busy.
Yo es, yo estoy ocupada.
Nice, Amy. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, how about the next one? Ellos están en la chamba. La chamba is very much a colloquial word that you might not find in the dictionary. It's like to represent your daily workflow or the mix. So it's like saying they are in the mix. They're in the middle of it, right?
Mhm.
Today. hmm
Yeah.
So let's try that. Ellos están en la chamba.
Ellos están en la chamba.
Uh-huh. They're in the mix. They're in the middle of it today. You could say that, for instance, about like a ER staff. You can't
Mhm.
distract these guys today. Ellos están en la chamba. They're in the fight, right?
Mhm.
Cool. Okay, let's test you, Amy. Estar means to be, but is it permanent or temporary? What would be correct? If we wanted to say, I am at the beach today, would we say, yo soy en la playa hoy, or yo estoy en la playa hoy?
Yo estoy en la playa hoy.
And why?
Because it's temporary. I don't live at the beach.
Oh, good. Okay, so good. Estar is the temporary form of to be. Great.
Mhm.
Okay, ser means to be, but is it permanent or temporary? This one would say we are pilots. Which would be correct? Nosotros estamos pilotos or nosotros somos pilotos?
Nosotros somos pilotos.
Good job. Awesome. Okay, so that's the end of our session on ser versus estar. We have covered 3 lessons. The first one that was A2, which was our class 2, dealt with estar. So you can go back and watch the video on that. The second lesson, class 3, dealt with ser. So that's to be, but permanent. Then this lesson, the one we're in, emphasized how important that difference is between those two and how well used those verbs are, that we wanted to do that one last compare and contrast. So now you have all the tools. If it's not sinking in quite the way you'd hope for it to be, then you can go back and revisit those. But that's the end of our formal instruction on ser versus estar, though we will see many examples of it in full sentence practice and as we advance along in these modules. Let's take a look at months and seasons. Okay, Amy, repeat after me, but I want your formula and those of you watching along to be Spanish, English, Spanish. So as an example, I would say enero, January, enero, and we'll hope that that's a better model for letting it sink in. Go ahead, enero, Amy.
Enero, January, enero.
Good. Febrero.
Febrero, February, febrero.
Marzo.
Marzo, March, marzo.
Abril.
Abril, April, abril.
Mayo.
Mayo, May, mayo.
Junio.
Junio, June, junio.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting that the Mexican and Latin people don't really celebrate Cinco de Mayo like we have done. That's sort of a corporate holiday that was probably more so pushed and invented by Corona. It's not a date of significance in Latin America, Cinco de Mayo. All right, let's carry on with July. Julio.
Julio, July, Julio.
Good. So Julio Iglesias, his name is July, and the word iglesias means churches. So Julio Iglesias, July churches. Let's
There
try
you go.
Agosto.
Agosto, August, agosto.
Yeah, I wanted to share something. Agusto is a little different. That's 2 words, Agusto. And if we say at a restaurant, todo agusto, try that, Amy. Todo agusto.
Todo agosto.
That's like everything is to our liking, is essentially what it's trying to say. Todo agusto. So you might give a mwah like that with it, right? Todo agusto. And you know, gusto is a cousin with me gusta. Most people know that me gusta means I like, right?
Right.
So todo agusto. And just to round that out, mucho gusto is how we say nice to meet you. But it's kind of more so suggesting much likey. Much likey in meeting
gusto.
you. Good. All right, let's try septiembre.
Septiembre, September, septiembre.
Octubre.
Octubre, October, octubre.
Noviembre.
Noviembre, November, noviembre.
And diciembre.
Diciembre, December, diciembre.
Good. All right, those are our months. Now here are our seasons. We can call them estaciones or temporadas. In Puerto Vallarta, we use temporada very commonly. There's a temporada alta, that's high season, alta or alto, meaning tall or high. And then there's the temporada baja. And baja, just like from Baja, California, is lower or below. Let's try that, Amy. Temporada alta.
Temporada alta.
Let's try estamos en la temporada alta.
Estamos en la temporada alta.
What does that mean?
I am in the we are in the high season.
Good, nice adjustment there. And that's a big part of putting to practice Spanish is catching yourself on the fly and making that adaptation to correct yourself. Huge benefit to have that tool. Let's try, we are in the low season. How would you say that? And please use the nosotros in there.
Nosotros estamos en la temporada baja.
Good, really nice. Yeah, nosotros estamos en la temporada baja. We are in the low season. Here are the other seasons as far as our normal concept of seasons: winter, spring, summer, fall. Let's try that Spanish, English, Spanish again with invierno.
Invierno, winter, invierno.
Yeah, good. How about the next one? One of my favorite words, primavera.
Primavera, spring, primavera.
Yeah, good. Then there's verano.
Verano, summer, verano.
Uh-huh. And then the one that kind of looks to me more like autumn or sounds like autumn, but represents fall is otoño.
Otoño, fall, otoño.
Yeah, good. Okay, let's take a look and advance along. Now, there's no wrong answer here, okay? So the question or the statement says, my favorite season is, and then you just choose one, but tell us the full sentence. Mi temporada favorita es.
Mi temporada favorita es el verano.
You like the summer. Mi temporada favorita es el verano. Muy
Sí.
bien. Okay, at this point, I always do a little listening exercise, right?
Okay.
We need to have that component in order for us to round out our Spanish speaking experience because there's obviously the speaking element. We've seen some of the reading element, but hearing the Spanish and taking it in is something we also have to put to practice. So, right here, we're going to do a listening exercise. I'm going to tell a story about my favorite season. See what you can pick up. It's important to not be frustrated in this type of exercise, which can happen because likely you'll only understand 10 to 15%, a low percentage. But the attitude choice is important because we need to understand that this is a component of Spanish that we have to practice, hearing it without seeing any sort of visual guide. So let's make a positive attitude choice. And I'm going to tell you a story here about my favorite season. We won't know all the words, but see if you can use the context to put it together, okay?
Mhm.
Okay. Cuando era niño yo, muy chico, yo viví en Chicago. En Chicago tenemos un invierno horrible, con mucho frío y nieve y viento. Entonces, en mi juventud, cuando era niño, mi temporada favorita fue el verano, porque me gustó el calor, la playa, la ciudad, right? Ir afuera de la casa y no tener frío. Pero recientemente me mudé a Puerto Vallarta. En Puerto Vallarta el verano es horrible. Hay mucho calor en el verano en Puerto Vallarta. Pero el invierno tiene temperaturas muy lindas. Por eso, ahora que vivo en Puerto Vallarta, ha cambiado mi temporada favorita. Ahora mi temporada favorita nueva es el invierno, cuando las temperaturas son perfectas. Okay, at home, you'll have to analyze how did you do? This was a story about changing seasons, changing our favorite season based off of where we live. Did you pick that up?
I did.
So, what was that story about, Amy? And again, none of you should be afraid to fail. We are in our lessons here practicing. But what do you think we were saying?
I think you were saying that when you were a child and you lived in Chicago, in your childhood, your favorite season was summer because it was warm out and you could go to the beach and you were in the city. And winter was too cold and horrible and windy. But then you moved to Puerto Vallarta and summers are too hot. And so you love the winter because the temperature is perfect
Really
for
nice.
being
That
outside.
demonstrates, uh-huh. Good understanding of the story, Amy. Proud of you for
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
And I'm proud of all of you at home who are watching this video if you were able to deduce that that story was about being a niño, a little boy in Chicago. We use the word juventud. That's youth. Let's try that. Juventud.
Juventud. I didn't know that
Uh,
word.
and then the
Juventud.
juventud is like joven. Joven is young, and
Mm-hmm.
juventud is youth, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, talking about the cold, horrible winters in Chicago. Horrible is spelled just like horrible. Horrible. Remember that the H's are not pronounced, so it makes it horrible. Try that, Amy. Horrible.
Horrible.
Try this. You have to pluralize both of them. Horrible winters would be inviernos horribles.
Inviernos horribles.
Uh-huh. Good. Yeah, that sounds right. So here, sometimes on the guide, when we click on, if we pick the wrong answer, it won't advance us. But that's not true on this page because it's subjective. So we're picking our favorite season. I'll put here El Verano. Cool. Let's work through some other important vocab. These are words that we need to know. Remember, our formula is going to be Spanish, English, Spanish. Let's start with año.
Año, year, año.
Good. You've probably heard feliz cumpleaños. Try
Mm-hmm.
that. Feliz cumpleaños.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Uh-huh. And cumplir, the verb that's associated with that is to complete. So when we say feliz cumpleaños, we're almost literally saying happy completing of years.
Okay.
Let's try the next one, mes.
Mes, month, mes.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, semana.
Semana, week, semana.
Yeah, very good. And if you're coming from Puerto Vallarta or any Latin country, tends to have their Semana Santa, which would be Saint Week, aka Holy Week. Let's try that.
Semana,
Semana Santa.
Semana Santa.
Good. We're missing an accent here in the guide on the I, but dia is day. We've worked with that before, like with buenos dias. Try that.
Mm-hmm.
Dia.
Dia, day, dia.
Then hora.
Hora, hour, hora.
Good. Let's take a minute to appreciate that ahora with an A in front is now, right?
Ahora,
How would
ahora.
you say now is the hour, Amy?
Ahora es hora.
Close, yeah. Ahora es la hora.
Ahora es la hora.
Yeah, excellent. Let's try minuto
Minuto, minute, minuto.
and segundo.
Segundo, second, segundo.
Good. Excellent. Okay, there's a couple more words here. Oh, maybe not. This is a big focus. We're asking what time is it? Now, the Spanish speaker asks what time is it different than we do in English because the word tiempo here in the chat, that actually means time. So you can see when the Spanish speaker says que hora es, that they're actually asking what hour is it? Let's try that. Que hora es?
¿Qué hora es?
Good. And let's respond, it's one. Es la una.
Es la una.
Good. And then let's say it's one in the afternoon. Es la una en la tarde.
Es la una en la tarde.
And how would you say it's one in the morning?
Es la una en la mañana.
Nice. Very good. Yes. Now, That's for 1 o'clock because that's 1 hour. But it's important. We could just assume that S means is and is it. But if we really want to have a good understanding, we need to look back at the verb ser, to be, the permanent to be, right? And
Mm-hmm.
remember, soy, this is from the same lesson today. Soy, eres, es, somos, we are, and son, they are. Listen, when we say what time is it, that's singular. And that's why when we're talking about 1 o'clock, our response can also be singular. That's es la una. But then any hour that is not 1 o'clock makes the hours of the day plural or multiple. So the verb that we're electing is also from ser, and it's son. So we might say son las dos en la tarde, which would mean it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, though it literally means they are 2 in the afternoon. They
Okay.
are the hours. They are 2 hours in the afternoon. Let's try that one. It's 2 in the afternoon, Amy. Son las dos en la tarde.
Son las dos en la tarde.
Good. Yep. And then how would you say it's 11 in the morning?
Son las 11 en la mañana.
Really nice. Yeah. Good. So remember when asking about what time it is, ¿qué hora es? And the response, if it's not just 1 o'clock, where you'd say es la una, it will
Mm-hmm.
have to be a plural response, and the verb then becomes they are. Son las dos en la tarde. Son las
Son
once
las.
en la
Oh,
mañana.
okay.
Mhm. Good. Let's advance along. This next part of the module has to do with something that will be a big part of our journey moving forward, and that is conjugating verbs. Taking a verb from its natural form and then manipulating it to match the subject and the time frame that we're hoping to speak about. And that's a big part of any language journey. So there's three types of verbs, as we mentioned in Spanish: verbs that end in AR, verbs that end in ER, and verbs that end in IR. And the ER/IR verbs, they tend to have a lot of similarities, so they're sort of in their own category. And then the AR verbs are also in their own category. Today we're starting with AR verbs. So let's take a look. What we'll need is to remember our subjects here, because we're working with verbs again. We've already done this for ser and estar, but first of all, they don't always follow the rules for conjugating verbs, but we focused on them primarily because of their use and importance. So we wanted to get that down. Now we're going to be looking at all verbs that end in AR and learning a subset of rules that will help us understand how to conjugate or manipulate them in order to match the subject and the time frame that we're speaking in. So these are things that we've seen here recently, the subjects that we'll focus on. And let's take a look at an example with the verb hablar, to speak. Go ahead, Amy, say hablar.
Hablar.
Good. When we want to change to speak into I speak, we take away the AR ending and we add an O. This isn't just the case for hablar. This is the case for verbs that end in AR. So we're teaching our brain not individual words, but rules to help us conjugate or transform the verbs. So let's try the first one. Yo hablo inglés. I speak English.
Yo hablo inglés. I
Yeah.
speak English.
Good. That's not on the screen there, but the yo hablo is. So if you want
Mm-hmm.
to apply that, we'd say, I speak English, yo hablo inglés.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a question, we'd say, ¿tú hablas español? Which would be, you speak Spanish, or the equivalent of, do you speak Spanish? Let's try, ¿tú hablas español?
¿Tú hablas español?
Really nice. Do you speak Spanish? Again, take away the ending, the AR ending. And when it's tú, when we're speaking about you, we
Mm-hmm.
add AS for us. That becomes tú hablas. ¿Tú hablas español? Try it again, Amy.
¿Tú hablas español?
Good, excellent. And then the él or ella form, he or she. This is also where we take a look at things that are it or inanimate, right? So
Mhm.
this is a good example of he is or he speaks or she speaks, and it could also be it speaks, right? But let's try she speaks English. How would you say that?
Ella habla inglés.
Good. Ella habla inglés. She speaks English. Now, notice we won't, as we talked about, ever deviate from this model where it starts with I or me, yo, to you, él or ella is he or she, or it would also be covered here by this type of verb choice. And then there's two more that follow, the nosotros, and that would be nosotros hablamos. Notice that the AR is replaced by an amos, and we get nosotros hablamos. How would you say, Amy, we speak English and Spanish?
Nosotros hablamos inglés y español.
Muy bien. Nosotros hablamos inglés y español. We speak English and Spanish. Then nosotros, that's us, that's we. The next one, ellos, ellas, that's they, depending on the gender of the group of they, or ustedes, which is you all. So let's ask the question, do you all speak Spanish? ¿Ustedes hablan español? Try that, Amy. ¿Ustedes hablan español?
¿Ustedes hablan español?
Good. Do you all speak Spanish? Excellent. So we looked at the example of hablar, but really these are the rules that you want to follow. So we applied these rules, but here they are written on their own. And this is for conjugating verbs that end in AR to the appropriate subject. You'll notice that above there it says in the present. That's because presently we are only working in the present when it comes to these verbs. Later down the line in our instruction, we'll know how to manipulate the ending of a verb to make it speak in the past or the future. But at the beginning here, our work is with verbs in the present. Let's practice. I am in my lesson and I speak Spanish is what we're going for. Amy, what would be the right one for I speak Spanish?
Yo estoy en mi lección y yo hablo español.
Good. So looking for that O ending when things are related to me. Oh, it's important to note here that this is not the same dialogue that we've been having in the previous modules about gender with nouns. These are verbs and they don't take on gender the way nouns do. So when you see hablo, you don't really want to be thinking, oh, that's masculine. More so now, the O in the verbs you want to associate with yo. So when you're speaking about yourself. And then, for instance, habla down below, two options here. That's he speaks or she speaks. We've been used to so far focusing on gender because that's an important part of the language to learn in the early days. But gender is for nouns and adjectives, people, places, things, and how to describe them. Buenos dias, buenas tardes. Verbs do not deal with gender. Even the verb habla could mean he speaks or she speaks. So that's even more to solidify that gender is not a part of verb use. But you did a good job. Yo estoy en mi lección y yo hablo español. Try it one more time, Amy, before we advance along.
Yo estoy en mi lección y yo hablo español.
Good, really nice.
Okay.
The next word is, or sentence is, they are bilingual, so they speak English and Spanish. And let's practice the word so, which is also like therefore, entonces.
Entonces, I like that word.
Yeah. And then also the bilingual, bilingües.
Bilingües.
Yeah, two cool words there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Entonces y bilingües. Let's try the sentence. Ellas son bilingües, entonces blank, inglés y español. What's the right answer here?
Ellas son bilingües, entonces hablan español y inglés.
Good, yeah. Now the pronunciation we got to work on a little bit because you said hablan, and that's to me has too much of an accent that doesn't actually exist there. It's really hablan.
Hablan.
So try
Okay.
it again. Ellas son bilingües, entonces hablan inglés y español.
Ellas son bilingües, entonces hablan inglés y español.
Well, you kind of did it again, but let's just say hablan.
Hablan.
Good. And that's an important note for everybody that's watching this video as well, is the natural pronunciation of these words. It might take some time, right? You have to hear it a couple times and use it. But again, thinking back to the rules of accents, if you see a word that doesn't have an accent, it's best to just try to chill as much with every letter's pronunciation. Let the accents allow you to give pop. But if they're not there, then you kind of got to just chill a little bit. So it's hablan. Hablan.
Hablan.
Hmm.
Hablan.
Good.
Hablan.
Yeah, excellent. That is the end of the class. Great job today, Amy. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm proud of you guys back at home as well for watching along. And Amy, you were a good assistant to help demonstrate some of these concepts today. So I know we're grateful to you for that. This is class 4 of our 8-week online group Spanish course. And congratulations for making it this far. We have more classes coming, of course, twice a week, but with 3 opportunities to attend each class. So the goal is to make it as easily accessible to you all as possible, and keep an eye out for this video recorded in our video archive. I hope you guys have a great night. Let's say nos vemos pronto to say we'll see each other soon. Nos vemos pronto.
Nos vemos pronto.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios a todos. Goodbye, everyone.
Yes.